I stumbled upon this video not long ago, and it contains a section which is both sad and funny, which serves as a good cautionary tale.
So let's go over this quickly. Number one, and the simplest way to know we live on around Earth is because of math.
The video as a whole is intended to debunk the debunking of the flat Earth. The section which interests me is about 2.5 minutes in, and it's where the flat Earth debunker offers his proof number 2, why the Earth is not flat. The phases of the moon.
The second reason, and one that has a lot to do with something we see pretty much every night, is Mr. Moon. How does the moon prove the Earth is round? Because if you look up at the moon right now, I'm not sure what phase it's in, but you'll probably see a curve of a shadow on the moon. Now, if we lived on a flat Earth, there would be a straight line going through the moon because that shadow would be straight. The only way that shadow can be curved is if the world is a sphere, because that's what a sphere does. It has a curved shadow. That's our second example, and it's that simple.
He argues that the shadow on the moon is always curved, and this proves that the Earth is a ball because the shadow of a ball is always round. If you're skimming, this sounds pretty good. The problem is, he manages to be wrong thrice in less than a minute. 1. The dark side of the moon sometimes does have a straight line separating it from the light side. 2. The shadow on the moon is not the shadow of the Earth. He's not talking about a lunar eclipse when the Earth casts a shadow on the moon. He's talking about the phases of the moon. The dark side of the moon is the shadow of the moon. And 3. This proves that the moon is round, not the Earth. Clearly, this proof for the roundness of the Earth has failed with hilarious results. Does this mean that the Earth is flat? No. It means the flat Earth debunker needs to find and make better arguments. The failure of an argument does not automatically mean that the position being defended is wrong, nor that the opposing view is correct. I bring this up because atheists can't seem to understand this simple fact of logic. For instance, they will try to argue that God doesn't exist because the Bible has contradictions. Even if this were true, it's not. They would only have proven that the Bible is not inerrant. Not that DNA can write itself without an intelligent designer. Richard Dawkins tries to argue that God does not exist because he is mean.
Placing your failure to properly understand the justice of the Almighty aside for a moment, did you honestly just argue that God doesn't exist because he's mean?
Even if this were true, it's not. That would only mean that the verses in the Bible about God being loving, kind, and slow to anger would somehow be perhaps misleading. Not that the universe could make itself from nothing without the intervention of a timeless, spaceless, immaterial, and powerful uncreated creator. Atheists also try to argue that God doesn't exist because they don't understand the ontological argument. But all this proves is that they don't understand the ontological argument, or, in some cases, much of anything above a third-grade reading level. In terms of the flat Earth, Galileo made arguments for the Earth orbiting the Sun, which we acknowledge today were bad arguments. That doesn't mean that the Sun orbits the Earth, it just means Galileo needed better arguments. So next time an atheist tries to argue that they've disproved the existence of God because they found some imagined flaw in some piece of doctrine or apologetics, just remember the Earth. Making a good argument against a bad argument doesn't make the Earth any flatter. Except between Iowa and Nebraska. Out there, the flat earthers really have a valid point. To learn about why atheism fails on every conceivable front, just check out the Answering Atheism playlist. And remember, Jesus loves you.